So with the current climate on the planet right now, so the news is coming out that there's been a repositioning of structures in Iran, isn't there? We have here Luton and different things like that, don't we? Birmingham and different things. I'd be on very high alert and probably be watching. Uh, whether it's history repeats itself, but back in the day, the West were maneuvering out Australia, America, going off India, different things like this, and it almost feels like a reversal of that, but with other nations. I would be very curious about these. So airports should be really on high alert for this sort of stuff. So you see, the thing is with this, it seems good in the meantime, and it also seems bad, doesn't it? Like you said something about fuel prices increasing. That's temporal thing. That will be temporal. At the end of the day, these things have to get payments for it. Do you understand? And it peaks up, but it will begin to subside again. Because if you think about it, but again, even though a small group might be fractured under this, it depends what comes next. Surprise is the best element, isn't it? It can regroup again, can't it? And that's the thing you don't want, is it for it to regroup? It's liberating, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's very liberating if there is a certain change in the. I don't know. There seems to be a lot of attacks. I would be quite on high alert in most places, and here for Britain, if we all send troops over and different things like that, you can't watch at home because you deplete your nation. But I would watch these hotspot areas, and I don't know if there are any more around the world, but personally, those ones would be my prime areas to be watching. Why? Just to have a look. The hydrogen bomb fascinates me. It really does. That's just one on Nagasaki, right, in Japan.
Yeah.
But what about stones in a pond? Throw one brick into a pond, doosh, big splash, all over and done with. That's a bit currently like was it Nagasaki? No, might not have been. Hiroshima.
Hiroshima and
Hiroshima.
Nagasaki was second.
The second one. Can you imagine doing that like stones in a pond? Each one to the calculated second, and then what? It needs to be around 30% extra on the final one. Could you imagine that type of boom and then boom and then boom? Can you imagine the area of that? The colossal damage. After all, isn't it hydrogen? Hydrogen is a very interesting thing, to be honest. We just see it with one. That's you want to understand that. It's the power of the sun. Wow. Isn't it Einstein that created this?
Created what?
H-bomb theorized it?
I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Stones in a pond. Separate stones in a pond to create the tidal wave. Shit. That's a lot, right? That's quite a bit. Whether I agree or disagree, it's just fascinating to look at this, and then you see the way that it, in war, we always see separation, stagnation, yes? Things sort of separate, and then they sort of begin to group back together again. It's a bit like planets. It's interesting, or moons that get hit by a meteorite and it all comes apart, and then it clobs back together. Is it Miranda, the moon? It's a bit similar to this. Once they theorized that it came apart and then came back together in a cluster. Again, at the end of the day, and then where do you find control in this? Or, rather than control, it's about stability, isn't it? Stability in that area. If there are a lot of terrorists that come from these areas, and that's if, use the word lightly, you don't want it to reform again and become stronger. You understand? In the beginning, separates, but you usually tighten up where you're at. If it came back together in a way that was a bit more, less of the control, less of the, there is a lot there. There is a lot of suppression in individuals, and some people get away from it, and I think some people get away to be away from the blast radius, so to speak. There can be agendas here, not necessarily 100% to say that there are, but again, you have to put yourselves in that. When you strategize things, you have to think like the enemy. You really do, because if you don't, what could you do to utilize this? Well, you could put people in other nations and they go out and something happens there. Some will want to get away to be liberated, to find their own liberation and be quite balanced. And other people, it really draws out what's in the mind, and this might start to cause things. But if you plan ahead for it and expect that to happen, and if it doesn't, that's good enough. But if it does, then you can already be there ready and waiting for that to happen. If it's associated with aeroplanes and such things, or trains and different things like that, who knows if it does come from these particular areas? A lot of it does, doesn't it? That these particular sort of continents, it's more Far Eastern, isn't it? So, but yeah, so be prepared for that sort of stuff. But if you can be there already to be able to counter it, that lessens the blow. And it's a sort of, you react, we're going to act, but it's going to be action if you react in that way. And then I think that gives a green light without it being race and religion or belief or anything else. I think it puts in people's minds the green light, doesn't it? Really, that's zero tolerance, hard and fast. That's just the way it needs to be. Unfortunately, it's horrible, but at the end of the day, if you've got this type of mindset, can you imagine building beautiful ships, anything else in space, and this were to occur? It just, no, it's not great, is it? It's shitty that it's on the planet as it is, and certain terrorist attacks come from certain areas, and again, I don't want to be discriminative, but you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. So, well, it depends on how you look at terrorism and different things like that. But it's interesting behavior. It really is. There's this, all of a sudden, it's sort of hated, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to come to the place that they hate. Death to the West and all the rest of that bullshit, And then everybody wants to come here, and it's like, wait, hold on a second. What is that all about? I mean, if you hate a nation, do you want to go to it? Go on, off you go. Go on, off you go to that place. Go on, fucking get in there. I know you hate it, but go on, fuck off. You just want to do it, will you? So then you look at that and you think, what the hell is that behavior? I'm confused. Where I get confusion, it's time to pay a little bit more attention to that. So we'll see. We'll see what comes. But I think it's wise to be on guard and utilize intelligence agencies in the correct way to look at these areas, because fucking hell, you don't want to make a platform here.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And if it is with these individuals that just have this in their nation and different things like that, we're West.
Yeah.
Whether involved or not, we're still West.
Yeah.
You understand that? In Germany and everything else, these attacks have happened. We're still Western. Europe, be on your... We're still West. You get it? So, and it just doesn't... It don't make sense to me. It falls apart when it's to get away from the sort of control restraints, but then to continue that behavior here. Do you understand? What were you getting away from? And then it makes me ask a question of what is really going on here. So, again, but if you're ready for it, that reaction can be used in a action-based, that's it, done. And I think that is more powerful. It's not really power, it's protection, but power comes as the default from that protection. Do you that can really it really has a good outcome to it. So yeah, and I think that's where people feel uncomfortable in these situations, because it is quite terrorism, isn't it? It's quite the thing. How can anyone feel safe?
Yeah.
When there's still this type of behavior on the planet, that should be stamped out. Because going to space with that, it just won't work. It just doesn't work. And then there's the whole thing of resources and different things like that, which there are. These can be really... It's not the end of the world, let's say, but, we'll see. But yeah, you don't want it to I don't know, regroup in this aspect. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, just observe it. But it's still that behavior of all of that sort of saying and everything else, and then it's like you're coming to a place that you don't like. And if it was to get away from a situation as it's almost dressed up, is it really though?
Yeah.
Because if you still bring it, the behavior with you, then you're not getting away from the behavior. So what the hell is going on? Do you that requires scrutiny. That picks my senses up. That really does. That's an interesting thing. So yeah, honestly, this hydrogen thing is an interesting thing for me. I just wonder that. It's like stones in a pond, isn't it? You can either throw one big stone and it creates this, but, you know, small stones in a pond can create quite the tidal wave, can't they? So, yeah, never want it to come back on you that way. So, again, yeah, it's strategy. But, again, it's quite difficult to get that done. But yeah, trains, buses, planes, all of that shit. And if there are any platforms anywhere, hotspots, I would also just kind of, to be safe than sorry, let's just have a little gander in there for a bit, you know, just because you don't want to make a new platform elsewhere. You know. Yeah. And that's the thing though, even if you were to intercept all of that stuff, well, it would just be a few stories get played out somewhere and no one would ever really understand the impact of what that could cause. Do you get what I mean? So, shades of grey on that one. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. But yeah, it's got potential. It does. It really does. If it regrouped in a correct way, I think it can be quite the turning point for certain nations, especially in the area. It can really become quite the liberating thing, the freeing thing. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see as it all unfolds and what happens. And it's interesting. Very interesting. Well, anyway, that's just all I'm going to touch upon on this one, and that's just about it, to be honest. So, but yeah, you often ask the question, what would you do in that situation? What would you do in this X, Y, Z? And you know, yeah, that's where I would be heading. As a leader, it's kind of more to be protecting allies and also to prevent anything. But I would be a bit more into that. If there's a reaction, then you know there's going to be action taken on that. And what does that look like? This, and this. And I think the support is there at the moment. If there was ever a time that needed a change or a transformation, and I think it'd be now. This would be it, because favor is on your side. If you think about it, the uproar that we last saw here, you know, it's hard with this, isn't it? Because you've got to weigh it in such a way that's great for everyone all around. And yeah, do you often think that people feel more? That people's reactions is because of feeling?
Yeah.
You know, feeling is a little bit more on what you've seen and a repeated behavior every so often, this, and this. Yes, race, religion, different things like that, it often comes up and sort of muddies the water quite a bit, doesn't it? But in these circumstances, it then becomes a reaction. Then there is action on top of that reaction. And really, you'll have a lot of people that would be more, something needs to be done, and then something can be done. Do you get it? It just sort of paves the way for that. It sounds really horrible, but at the same time, what is more horrible? To go through more of this? You know, this repeated behavior, or... Do you get what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of things that don't make sense about these whole situations, and... Interesting. And again, it can show you that the terrorism is quite small, isn't it? Let's say it is small, few and far between, but in it being so small, in its impact,
Yeah.
it's large. It almost makes up for lost time, doesn't it? So people's true intentions always come out on situations like this. So, you know, it's going to create a divide, and it's going to create clusters and pockets, and perhaps people are going to start strategizing. And again, if it's being watched, then you can have a intercept or watch it play out. And if it does play out in that particular way, it sort of tips the scale in. That's a reaction. Now there needs to be taken action. And the people that really do want to get away from it won't group with this particular group that are beginning to strategize this negative stuff, and the group that are really wanted to get away from that sort of stuff will begin to group in another dynamic. And that's the difficulty in it, isn't it? That certain people that really do want to get away from it, the certain groups, terrorisms, will hide behind this stuff. That's the way they get into so much stuff with this. This is how you can get away with stuff, because it hides behind, well, let's say human rights, well, let's say the rights against religion, well, let's say rights against race, the rights against not to be discriminated. These sort of things can, as much as they're really great things, they also fuck us in the arse at the same time. Do you get what I mean? There's sort of loopholes in all of this crap that we have to deal with, and everybody else has to deal with, and then this creates the last thing in the world. If you've got genuine people, they're the ones that are worth protecting. They're the ones that are worth investing into. These are the ones that can be trusted, perhaps. These ones are the ones that need protecting. But those ones that want to cause the carnage, no. That's not good for all people because of a small group. Do you get what I mean? And that's what it's about, being ready for these ones. You see, so that's where I stand on human rights. It's sort of like it's about everybody coming into it together. Everybody respecting everybody else's, you know. That's brilliant. That's a nice thing. But the groups that want to let it down, no, that's when it's sort of like, where do you draw the line on human rights with that? And you know, and then it doesn't become about race, it doesn't become about religion, it doesn't come about this. It's about everybody in this group who just want to, you know, find a better way of living, and that's great. But these ones, no, it's not about a better way of living. It's about utilizing you as a shield so that we can get in here and perhaps do X, Y, or Z. And again, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? So we'll see. And when we're in high control situations, again, we live in cultures, so they are cults. We understand that. That's a cult. And if some people just inside it, it's very difficult to break that. It's very difficult to break that control restraint, and some people that are in it are more victim than you understand, although I hate that word, but they don't see another way because maybe they're not allowed to see another way. Do you understand that? And that makes them innocent in their own right, and then if it breaks apart and it comes together in the right way, this can be really powerful stuff, really liberating for people, and then it changes the mindset going forwards, that it's not so... It's too much of a coincidence that in certain areas around the world that this is really high coming out, isn't it? It's like, what is that creates that? There must be some level of brainwashing going into this. Yes, okay, there are certain aspects where it's about debt. But that only goes so far. And anyway, these debts can be repaid in a way that's constructed, and Britain have to make good on their promises. You know, Theresa May said it quite clearly, I think it was, that we're not going to repay a nation that behaves like this, and this. But at the end of the day, it becomes the very propaganda that's being used as a way to hate the West. Do you understand that? And is it that, or is it? And then if it structures in the correct way, then there can be made good on an ancient whatever it was, and then that helps to enhance the mindset of people that they're, oh, so it was because of this. Yes, it's because of this. You know, and then it really does. It sets it up, you know. So it's interesting. We'll see. Whatever it will be. But you know, yeah. But I don't know. The last ones I heard was like a German Christmas markets and certain things like this, and there's been many, and it's at them very terrible times, and it's always around this sort of Christmas area, or it's because of this, and it's because, you know. So it sort of gives a behaviour that, is it part religion? That this is a religion, but it's paganism, but still it's this sort of culture that we have here, which is maybe different to another culture. And if we can respect one another, it'd be ideal, but we don't live in that sort of environment. But around these sort of times, or is it coincidence? But there again, does it tell you behaviour that certain infiltrations are happening in certain religious doctrine? Is that where it's coming from, and it erupts at this time with a little bit of brainwashing of hate this, hate that, hate this, along with this religion, that religion, this religion. And is that why it's always targeted around these areas? Is it? Yeah, we'll see. No, it could be really positive, this, when it clumps back together and how it comes back together. Like smashing up pottery, isn't it? I don't know who does this now. I don't remember. Is it Japanese? And once they broke it, they make it with gold?
Yeah, I think it's Japanese.
That's what you're after in an outcome like this. That's the ideal world, isn't it? But, you know, if it comes together in a golden seal around the edges and it creates more harmony, that's beautiful. Resources, different things, to be able to share resources, get a decent deal. Okay, it's going to increase before it drops, that's for sure. That's just the way it is. You know, teething problems, whatever else. So if there's enough electric cars, which there could be, there's enough this and this and different generators, and it's not the end of the world. Hydrogen is a great fuel. You know, perhaps not putting hydrogen into cars might not be a great thing, but yeah, electric fucking charging made from hydrogen, that can be well out the way. Send the power over, that's what you're after for the charge point. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, the electric cars are... So it's sort of... It's enough to capture that, I believe, so... Yeah. And don't Britain have oil? Well, I know Scotland does, but we have coal mines, right?
Yeah.
Is it usually under coal?
Usually, yeah, it's deeper, isn't it?
It's a bit more under the coal, isn't it?
Yeah. You have on the top layer, you have peat, then it's brown coal, then it's black coal.
Moss, peat, coal, oil.
And oil is on the bottom. It's the oldest.
Interesting. You know, this is what we was talking about in some of the other videos, that, you know, when diamonds are forged under pressure, it's the stuff that comes off the diamond. What is it? You know, a bit like the coal and different things like that, the pressure and everything else. You've got this that comes off of it. You're kind of like, it's a nice crystal. Coal is a crystal at the end of the day. You've never buffed it up. Oh, it's beautiful. You sit there buffing it. I used to do this when we had coal. As a lad, we had coal, and I'd buff it up.
Yeah.
You can make it really shiny. It looks really nice.
Yeah, you can.
In certain ways, it becomes quite colourful. It's very nice. It almost looks like oil slick or oil in water. The way it looks a little rainbowy in there. It's interesting. And then under that pressure and everything else, there's the extraction. What's more precious, the crystal or... You know, when people are talking about making diamonds and stuff and gold and different things like that, what is this stuff that comes off? Most things have this sort of leakage or seepage from it. In order to press, something has to give. Yeah, I often wonder if it's the oil comes from the coal. Who knows? Whatever, maybe it could be wrong, but yeah. Still, interesting, almost seeps out. Yeah. So anyway, this can really rebuild into something very positive. Oh, you can. But yeah, we've got to be realistic. If we've got certain havens here, this is platform. These become platforms, and if they're not being watched, not on high watching, we might miss something. And there again, even if missing something, it is not overly the end of the world. It is if it ends up in bad carnage, but what it does is it opens the door for action to be taken. So that kind of going to push the leaders quite a bit if it does happen that way, because there will be fucking uproar. I think there will be a lot of uproar. So, and then that twists your arm, and then what do? Are you voted in to do this, or is it about respecting a piece of paper after all? Or this, you know, I would really refine that a little bit more. That yes, that is to be respected, but when we're all respecting it together, you know, we all got to get behind that and be yes. So yeah, interesting. We'll see how it unfolds, but. It looks anarchy, doesn't it? It really does from a distance, but you know, fast forwards, go forwards with it, and if it's done in just the right way and just the right tweak, I think this can benefit like the world over, to be honest. So, not perfect, and it is true. It's always dark before the dawn, isn't it? You know, so liberation, and a lot of people become freed from that. It's possible. It's very possible. Nice. But there you are. I'm going to leave this one here, so I've got to get on, but still, interesting. Yeah, high alert on those particular areas, and maybe nothing comes of it, and these people are like, you know what, we're here because we want to get away from this sort of shit, you know, but this is the only way to really find out, really, isn't it? So I think it's about being vigilant in that. Watch it intercept it, or watch it, one slips through and, you know, there it is. That's a narrative that will be spun in papers and different things like that. And then before people start giving out their visual type of stuff, it's then take quick action, isn't it? And then it sorts out who is genuine, that wanted to get away from that, and it will become very clear, and the people that are not, that will be very interesting. And that's then when it gives you the eyes to see, right? It draws all of this out. So darkness is very good at hiding until something happens, and they can't help but draw all this stuff out, and then it makes it more visible, and then you know what you're dealing with. So when it's hidden and it's surprise, very tricky. Not impossible, but just tricky. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I think that's all I want to cover, really, to be fair.